Hello, everyone, and welcome to another video here on the Cycling Dane Extra channel. If you're listening on the Cycling Dane podcast, today I'm joined by Jens Voigt, Tour de France legend, and one of my favorite riders, and also someone who's been following the tour very closely, both as a commentator and on the back of a motorbike as well. I mean, how has the tour been for you so far this year?
To make it very short, the tour never disappoints. It's always amazing. It's drama, it's triumph, it's comebacks, it's people going home. It has it all every year again and again. So same for this year. My days on a motorbike. We have to say now I'm 10 years out of the sport. Not I'm still in the sport, but I'm retired. I have so much more respect for riders than I ever had when I was in the peloton. It is cruel. It's brutal. It's almost inhuman what they have to do just to reach Paris, let alone winning something. Just to reach Paris is bananas.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of riders crash, even Julian Philippe crashing on the last stage as well before the rest day. But Almeida out, there are so many riders out, or even just crashing and still being in the race. It doesn't seem like it's worse than any other year. It seems like every year there's crashes in the first few weeks. And like you were saying in the preview as well, everyone's fighting for the same piece of road.
It is, in terms of crashes, as silly or as bad or terrible as it sounds, a normal tour. Luckily, we don't have these mass pileups anymore in the last years where 30, 40 riders crash at the same time. In a finish sprint, we have seen a few of them. But yeah, it's a normal amount of riders. Now we are down to 166, started with 184, so 18 riders back home. And to make it just really more clear, more understandable, I always calculate the amount of abandoned riders in comparison to teams. The team has 8 riders. So right now we have 2 complete teams gone home plus 2 riders extra. That sounds much more dramatic. And people go, oh, wow, that is a lot actually. Then just 18 are out, 166 are still in. It's more than 2 teams in terms of numbers. They have just gone back home.
I mean, in the first place, we also should kind of talk about Tadej Pogacar and UAE Team Emirates. Tim Wellens winning on stage 15, but Pogacar absolutely looking untouchable. Had a crash, but setting records here, there, and everywhere. How's your view been of Tadej Pogacar?
He is the new cannibal, the new Eddie Merckx, the new, maybe the new GOAT. For people like who don't know the word GOAT, it's not that animal, it's GOAT, greatest of all times. And that is he, at least since Eddie Merckx. And I totally believe that tomorrow on the Mont Ventoux, we will see another record-breaking performance. They will set up a new Strava record up there because they had a rest day, so they could refresh. And the stage is fairly flat and not much happened till then. So everybody is still, especially the leaders, they will not hit the wind for a second before they come to that last climb. So they will be as fresh as possible and go full gas up there. So we just going to see, another record performance. And I believe Tadej Pogacar wants that historic picture for the books in yellow jersey, winning on the giant of the Provence. So I believe we see that tomorrow. So far, he has been really much in control. He survived all the stress, the crosswind sections, the nervous little hills towards the end within the first days, and constantly put a few seconds or a minute even into his main rivals. Even some days where he finished second behind Mathieu van der Poel, he still made 6 bonus seconds and nobody else made bonus seconds from his main competitors. So it's a constant line going up, 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 and the gap between him and the rest goes bigger, 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 bigger. I don't see that changing. The only challenge could be the loss with Joao Almeida, a very strong and important domestique or a rider for the mountains. Sivakov seems to struggle for the last days. He is not on the top. So that's 2 strong climbers not there or not at 100%. A lot of work left for Nils Politt to ride like 2 or 3 riders by himself, and Adam Yates in the mountains, Narvaez.
Have you been impressed by Narvaez? Because he seems a lot better climber than I remember him being.
We believe that mostly South Americans tend to be really good climbers. But yeah, he is in really good shape right now, and the team will be so happy about it after the loss of Almeida. They have somebody else to fill in that gap. So yeah, looks still good, but a lot of work left.
I mean, he's also, Tadej Pogacar, on the verge of potentially winning 3 jerseys. He's done that before, but that was with the white jersey. But this time he has his fingers in the green jersey competition because of the rule change with the stage points at some stages that normally wouldn't be a sprint stage, but they were getting 50 points. The one you talked about, him being second to Mathieu van der Poel. Do you think he is the favorite for that green jersey, or do you see John to Milan or even Mathieu van der Poel, who won the intermediate sprint on stage 15?
Within our Eurosport team, we have this predictor game. We predict the stage winner ahead of the race, of course. And I picked for stage 15, the day before the rest day, that the profile for me looked too easy for a breakaway. I thought Intermarché Vanti and Team Little Trek will keep it together for their sprinters. The last KOM, yes, it was a hard KOM, but there was 52 or 53 kilometers left to the finish line. So I figured even if the sprinters get dropped by a minute with their team, they could come back. And they lost not only the 20 points in the intermediate sprint to Mathieu van der Poel, but also they made 0 points in the end. So I believe tonight at the rest day, they realize, I'm afraid it's game over, because Paris, it is actually a likely scenario that Tadej Pogacar wins in yellow in Paris, because they go up that climb to Montmartre, up to that famous, beautiful church, Sacré-Cœur. I don't see the sprinters being top 10 on that day, but that's too far in the future. So today was 70 points on the line, 20 intermediate, 50 at the finish line. Milan or Bignan-Grimay, they would have needed both of them to have a realistic chance, because even if Pogacar does not win any more stages, just by defending his yellow jersey, he will be automatically first, second, or third, or fourth. So he will make points, where the sprinters made 0 points because they will not even be top 100 on these mountain top finishes. So I believe in a moment the pendulum swings towards Tadej Pogacar for that jersey. Mountain jersey, let's see how strong Lenny Martinez is. If he can keep that, his gap is not too big to Tadej Pogacar. And as I said, I believe Pogacar wants to win on top of Mont Ventoux. That's our category. It's finish line. It's a lot of points. And I don't see Lenny Martinez being there making points. So, yep, there's a fair chance that Pogacar will win yellow, green, and the points jersey.
Well, we might as well turn, you can't say Pogacar without Vingegaard, and obviously Danish fans will be a bit sad because it hasn't really gone his way. There's also been a lot of talk off the bike, which has not been helpful, I think, for the team as well. So, yeah, Jens, what have you thought of Jonas Vingegaard? I mean, yeah, he has beaten Tadej Pogacar before, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year.
Yes, it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. He's 4 minutes and something down. That is a quite big gap. Without Pogacar having a big crash or a health issue, I don't see that changing. I was firmly with my opinion that he will be closer this year. Jonas did not crash into the bus country like last year, where it was a terrible, hard crash last year. And he was just coming back from Tour de France, and he was really good for the fact that he was a long time off the bike after that crash. So that didn't happen this year. I thought that his preparation would be good. He would be actually going to be better and be closer to Tadej Pogacar. But it's kind of like last year. With all the love and respect, you're both fantastic bike riders, but there's a clear difference between them two, and even more to place 3, 4, 5 behind that. And that leaves me with a question for you or to every fan and viewer and listener. What if Tadej Pogacar winning tomorrow on Mont Ventoux, and then one day in the Alps he goes, you know what, Jonas? It's just you and me here. The other ones are all dropped. Take the stage. Is that good? Is it fair? Is it bad? Would it be the right thing to do? Would Jonas appreciate it, or would Jonas feel bad to get a present like that, like get a stage as a present without winning it in a way like, okay, I was the best, strongest, the smartest today. I leave it up to you and your followers to discuss. I'm also not sure about my own answer about that. If Tadej ever would do that, and if Jonas would go, I accept, or no, I don't want a win like that. Interesting question, I believe, and probably I change my mind every 20 minutes about this.
That makes me think of someone we shouldn't really mention, but Armstrong with Pantani, or Armstrong with, was it Basso or someone like that, where he gifted the stage. I mean, Pogacar doesn't really seem like he gives stages. I'm still annoyed that he didn't let Pelazzario win in the Giro last year. So, and he's also thinking of that Mark Cavendish record, I guess, directly or indirectly. Do you think he's going to take that record?
Absolutely, I think so. The question is it 27, 28, or 29? But yes, I mean, he's halfway there. What is it, 20 or 21? I lost count. It's either 20 or 21.
I think it's 22 now.
Oh.
I think, or 21. I could be wrong.
Yeah, 21, I believe. But yeah, so he only misses, then I was like 15.
What did you think of the Horticom? Because there he put a lot of time, 2 minutes and 10 into Vingo. Very close to Bjarne Riis's record as well.
Yeah, that was quite a stellar performance. And again, Jonas was pretty good. He was still up there. You know, he was still really a good bike rider. And it must have been frustrating, but it's good to see that Jonas goes, no, I don't give up. I keep fighting. I keep going. And I mean, you know, don't forget, there's always being better second than to be third, because if, of course, we don't want that, but if something happens to the number one, number two automatically becomes number one. If you then go easy and go, you know what, if I'm second, third, fourth, I don't care. Suddenly number one is gone. Now I'm second again. I could have been first now. So you will keep fighting for stage win. You will keep fighting to stay on second position, which looks like a fairly comfortable lead to Florian Lipowitz. But yeah, I like his spirit that he doesn't give up, and also that he gives the team freedom, like today, Wout van Aert, go on a break, try your luck. So to me, it seems the team spirit and the energy is still good at this Maliso bike. But of course, deep inside, they probably see it like I do, that this year it will be next to impossible to actually beat Tadej Pogacar for the overall win.
Do you think that's why they let Wout and Simon Yates, all of these guys, into the break, because they know it's kind of a done deal?
Yes, I believe so. Also, don't forget, it's 21 stages, and every year, in average, at least half of the teams do not win a stage. So they don't have anything really out of the tour. And having an earlier stage run with Simon Yates, superbly performed and executed, takes so much weight off a team, because, okay, ching ching, we got something in the bank. Whatever happens from now on, we got something solid in the bank that no one can take away from us anymore. So that was good, helped the team to release some pressure, and also to show, yep, we are alive, we good. We are more than just Jonas. We have a lot of really good riders and different options.
The third guy we probably should mention before we can talk about something else, Remco Evenepoel, world time trial champion, Olympic double champion, such a good rider. But yeah, I don't even know what went wrong, really. He said after the stage, it was on the Tourmalet as well, where he got off the same climb where in the Vuelta a few years ago, his GC also cracked. So that was quite, well, poetic in a way. What do you see for his future as well? Because he was being linked here, there, and everywhere to Red Bull, to Ineos, and yeah, his tour not going his way at all.
Let's start friendly. Man is an absolute legend Double Olympic champion. Not even Eddie Merckx managed that. Double Olympic champion. And there's only 2 possibilities for road cyclists. So, bloody hell, that is awesome. I believe 2 times world champion time trial, 1 time world champion on a road race, 2 times, I believe, at least, or maybe 3 times Liège-Bastogne-Liège. So, you know what? You and me, we would kill for 1 of these wins, right? He got a whole bunch of them, right?
Tour of Denmark as well.
Well, there you go. One of the biggest, most beautiful races in the world. So, from on top of my head, I think he has done 6 Grand Tours. 1 won, 3rd last year, some 12 in the Vuelta, and 3 did not finish it. That is quite a high percentage, because in other words, that would be 50% of the Grand Tours he started. He did not finish. So it's either hot or cold. I mean, he won 1 Vuelta. Fantastic. 3rd in Tour de France last year. Fantastic. Behind Jonas and Tadej Pogacar. It was first try at the GC at the Tour de France. The Vuelta. He was leading, you mentioned it, on a Tourmalet, then blow apart. But he did stick in the game, went through the difficulties, and came back and winning probably 2 or 3, at least 2 more stages after that. So strong comeback. Not in GC, but 2 stage wins. That's also what the team wants to see. Okay, struggling, yes, everybody can have a bad day, you're humans. But don't put your head in the sand and go home. No, come back out of it. That makes you a champion. And win a stage or 2 stages for the team, because they also went to altitude training camps. They also did eat salad leaves and weighed their food and did all these intervals. And they also missed their families in these lonely altitude training camps, sitting in a hotel room. So for them, come back, earn their respect. You want the respect from them. You want them to be willing to turn themselves inside out for you on the bike. Well, then show leadership. Show that, okay, yes, I'm worth that you give everything to me. Okay, I struggled, but hey, I get up, put the chrome straight, and keep on going. I win a stage for you guys. That would be good. Or like one of my heroes of my youth, Sean Kelly. I refer to him as King Kelly, of course. As King Kelly used to say, as long as you do not carry your head under your arm, you go back on the bike and keep on racing.
What do you think he does next? Is he just going to go to the Vuelta?
Isn't Jonas also going to the Vuelta? I think
and Pogacar.
Yeah. And Pogacar as well. So, I mean, the logical consequence would be for Remco, just by pure logic. Go home, recover, reassess the situation, find out what went wrong, what can I do better next time, and then go. The last big objectives this year would be the World Championships, time trial and road race, and the Vuelta. So, but does he want to face them again? And the rumors, so see, for people out there to understand. Back in my days, I know it sounds like I'm ancient, and I am. The Tour de France was the biggest rider carousel. Everything moved in the Tour. Secret meetings, phone calls, meeting at the parking lot. Hey, are you going to sign or not? Hey, can we talk? All that has moved so much forward in these modern days. Teams and people they love to plan for a longer time ahead. So all that often happens in the classics already. So it is very, very, very likely that the new team of Remco or the old team of Remco and Remco know where he will be riding his bike next year. But he can only announce it in August, I believe. There's a certain day, 10th of August, or what do I know? But he cannot see it now. But I strongly believe that has been fixed, done, and signed. They just cannot tell it legally yet. If he was linked to Red Bull, when they started talking, maybe in January, they probably thought, okay, we need a new strong rider next to Primož. Primož is going to be 35 next year. So he might be a little less strong than he was this year or last year. So we need somebody younger that can move and take over as our captain for Grand Tours. Made perfect sense in January, February, March, and so on. He came back from the crash he had with the post car, won his first race coming back. So looked like, he's up for a great year. So he is a good rider, no doubt about that. But now, if he actually still talks to Red Bull, or they signed him already, or they might sign him, we go, I don't know. We have maybe Lipovic for, I'm guessing, 1 million. And for Remco, we would probably have to pay 5 or 8, who knows, or 3 million. So they go, and on the Grand Tours, he abandoned 3 times out of 6, right? So is he gonna make us stronger? Because he makes the team definitely more interesting. Let's put it that way. He makes the team more interesting. Working with him is probably also be interesting. But then again, if you look at Red Bull Bo-Hans Grohe, at the Classics campaign, it didn't work out so well. Lipovic was a 3rd place in Paris, and I believe it was Primož winning Catalonia, I believe. They saved the early season for the team, not the one-day classics. So if they get Remco can win Amstel, Flash Ballon, or Liège-Bastogne-Liège. And he also, in terms of physical capacity, he can also win Giro Lombardia, the last big race of the year. So that you would make a team stronger. For the Grand Tours, they need to work on stress, anger, and bad moments management.
Well, you mentioned Lipovic. What have you made of this new crop of riders that have come to the forefront? Oscar Onley as well. Ben Healy had a stage win and the yellow jersey. But Florian Lipovic, we saw him in the Dauphiné. You said you had very high hopes for him in the preview, and I mean, he has lived up to everyone's expectations.
If I can maybe for 5 seconds, blow my own trumpet here. My podium before the tour, and I think I told you.
Yeah, you did.
In this order: Tadej, Jonas, and Lipovic. So in the moment, it really looks like I'm a true expert. I'm gonna start smoking a cigar in a minute from now. But it's serious. Back to serious business now. He is so much more solid and calm than I could ever hope for. For example, that day, to give you an example, stage 11, the day when Pogacar crashed shortly before the finish line around Toulouse, there was this last climb, Côte de Pêche David, I believe, short, steep, more narrow roads. They come in a 90-degree turn, so no speed. 50 riders wanted to be top 10 at that moment. And then you look from the top, it's Pogacar and his team. And right next to Pogacar and Jonas is the former biathlon, skiing and shooting, the former biathlon athlete, Florian Lipovic, like the boss, like he belongs there, like he earned that place. He finished 5, 6, or 7 around that turn where 50 at least experienced professionals wanted to be on his position at that exactly precise point. And he delivered under enormous pressure. He delivered calm, not spectacular, but solid like anything, and he delivered. So I believe he is having a great tour and an even greater future.
And the others, what do you think of Oscar Onley? He was kind of out of the blue in a way. I mean, the team, because I was at the team presentation in Lille, and yeah, it sounded more they weren't expecting too much. They had Tobias Lohnert-Dresden and Pavel Bittner for the sprints, and Oscar Onley was maybe going to be just something competing for some breakaway stages or something in the mountains. But here he is in top 5? Crazy.
Something similar with Lipo. They all said, no, Lipovic, no GC, no stress. We know he was 3rd at the Dauphiné, but that was his high point of the season. His race as a leader here, he is in the service for Primož Roglič. We don't know how he develops, because don't forget, people out there, from the last day of the Dauphiné, of Dauphiné Libéré, to the last week of the Tour de France, it's more than a month. It's 5 weeks or even maybe 6 weeks. That is a long time to keep your peak shape. It's almost impossible, or it's hard to do that. So they were also playing the role of Lipovic down. And I believe in both cases, they saw internally in the team, they saw the numbers, the performance. They guys said, okay, he is really, really good. But we're just not going to tell anybody, and we're not going to create stress and pressure with that. So I believe inside the team of Oscar Onley and Florian Lipovic, they knew he's much better than they will tell us. And they were just, okay, fingers crossed, hope for the best in the first week. No stupid tactical mistake, not crashing, not losing time in the crosswinds. And then the legs will do the talking, starting with the day in the Massif Central.
I mean, we did this last time as well to finish, so we might as well finish with some predictions. How do you think the final week's going to go? And you can give us stage winners as well if you want.
Okay. Pretty clear. Tomorrow on Tuesday, Tadej Pogacar wants that win in yellow. So then that's one. Last day, I'm hesitating between Van der Poel and Pogacar. Because the way he goes 3 times up that climb, you all know from the Olympics, little cobblestones, smaller roads. After 3,300 kilometers, the last time they come to the top of that hill is at 4 kilometers before the finish line. Basically, over the top, downhill, and finish. There's no time to repair anything. There's no time for a sprinter to come back. So, okay, I go historical. I go Pogacar again in yellow. The day before, Pontarlier, classic breakaway. Magnus Kort Nielsen will show one more time his moustache in the front. Magnus Kort Nielsen wins the stage into Pontarlier. And for you folks who have a little smile, Pontarlier is the capital of absinthe, that famous liquor. So half of the peloton will drink absinthe to celebrate, and the other half will drink even more to drown the frustration and desperation that he didn't win a stage or didn't came up to their own experience. So there probably might be some drunk people in Pontarlier. The next one, sprint. If Jonathan Milan wants to keep any chances alive of the green jersey, he needs to take that day the 50 points to hold Pogacar off or Mathieu van der Poel out of a breakaway. All right, so that is stage 17. It's still tricky because they go mostly headwind. It's in the valley of the Rhone, and normally the wind comes from north to the south towards the sea, so they go mostly up. 1 or 2 turns where then they could face some crosswinds. So also it's not just the easy sprinter. They also got to pay attention to the wind and the way the road turns. But yeah, I'll go sprinter Milan. Stage 18, Col de la Loze, 171 kilometers. Alrighty. Jonas Vingegaard wins that stage with Pogacar on his wheel. Yep. And then stage 19, that is the short and vicious one. That is so hard to predict because they have a sprint after 8 kilometers. So that means the sprinters might keep it together and go fast for the 20 points there. Right? So let's come back to Jonathan Milan. Milan needs this 20 points because it's likely that Pogacar makes 20 points at the end of the stage. So they keep the same distance. He needs this. So nothing happens for the first 8 kilometers. And it goes straight up and 11.3 kilometer climb, 1,000 meters of altitude. So all the sprinters going to go back, all exploding. It's a short stage with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 climbs, 2 of them all category, one first category and 2 secondary. So it's basically just up and down all day long. Hard to control for Team of the Yellow jersey. I believe that day goes to a very strong breakaway. A very, very strong breakaway. So it might be a Matteo Jorgensen that has recovered and is allowed to go on a break because he's like half an hour down. He's no risk to nobody. That could be a chance. Somebody impressive like Ben Healy might go, you know what, I have no chance. And that's why I want to take it. I have no chance against all the odds, but I go. Ben O'Connor, out of a strong breakaway. Ben O'Connor right now is 12th with 25 minutes back. So he's no risk for Pogacar. He might go on a break. The teams, they're afraid of the top 10. They are like 10 to 12 minutes ahead of him. Maybe they start chasing too late. They not get him back for the stage win. They might get him back close enough that Healy, Rodriguez, Tobias Johannessen will keep their top 10 places, but they don't chase him back that he cannot win the stage. So there's a stage 8, stage 19. Stage 19, Ben O'Connor out of a super strong breakaway. In 10 days from now, and 5 days from now, or I might like, look, he's a prophet. He can walk on water. He named every day right.
I mean, if you get all those right, that would be very impressive, especially in the sport of cycling. I mean, anything can happen. You can even be hit by an Ineos Grenadiers car if you're a spectator, apparently.
And no, you cannot be hit by that car. You can be foolishness to the working place of other people and put yourself in harm's way because you think anybody gives the fault to any Formula One driver or the rally driver. Didn't you have a good one in Sweden? Multiple times world champion or Norway, Petter Solberg. Petter Solberg comes around the corner at 180 kilometers an hour, and the people is on the road. Well, it's the person's fault. It's a race car. The sport director. And the car is like, let's see, roughly 2 meters. He has a rider next to him on his left side to give him a bottle of feedback. Right in that moment when it happened. Then he has to keep the left lane, or at least part of the left lane. He has to keep another meter at least clear for motorbikes. The security police, the road marshals, TV motorbikes, photographer motorbikes, they all pass on the left. And of course, he doesn't want to hit anybody, right? So the people be like this, and they move in the last minute. At least they should. So what do? Hurt the rider next to you? Hurt the motorbike driver that works with you? Or hurt the person that's not belonging there? I mean, he did brake. He was almost standing still. Him, the sport director, of course, as well. But also the woman that got hit. I mean, how many times I have seen people are like this in the Tour de France. They take pictures and then they go like this and follow the race through the camera. They do not look behind. And if the leader of the race passes you like this, there's 180 riders coming and about 50 cars coming. People just need to realize. I mean, I have been telling Christian Prudhomme for years. I said, Christian, you need to do a video clip about to do and not to do things. So here's what I told my parents. The Tour de France, it's a fascinating spectacle, but it's completely 100% madness and insanity. So a few rules. Number one, to never, ever touch the tarmac, not even with your toes. The tarmac, every square inch, square centimeter is used by the riders. Stay away, stay on the sidewalk, stay, if you can, a little higher up so you can watch further and you're safer up there. Second, if you see me, don't come to me onto the road. If I see you and I need a Coke, a water, a banana from you, I come to you. Never, never, ever the other way around. And then, of course, bring drinks, sunscreen, bring rain clothes, food, because you might be blocked for hours on the roadside. Make sure the car is filled up with petrol. Few basic things. But number one, do never, ever step on the road. You know, how many times I have seen this? The road goes straight, but people go like this because everybody puts his head forward to see something. And people are humans. We are nice. So, grandpa in a wheelchair, a child in a pushcart is in the front so they can see the riders coming past. Suddenly you realize that the road goes like this, people are like this, riders coming this way and this way. People jump. How often have I seen the left grandpa in a wheelchair alone on the road? And people pass grandpa on the right, on the left. You probably can't imagine how wide can a human being open his eyes. They become sizes like that when you see us coming, and you can see they see their own life running in a video clip inside of their head because they are, okay, my life is about to end. Can you imagine a baby push car left alone in the middle of the road and people going push, 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 push? So people also need to use common sense. Of course, nobody wants to get injured. Nobody deserves to get injured. Nobody should be injured. It's a peaceful, happy event. And the price for not having an entrance fee or me not selling tickets, everybody can come and clap the hero on the shoulder. But in return for that favor that we don't charge anything, we expect use common sense, be reasonable. It is the office. It is the working place of these people on the road. And also to give people an example, every year in the Tour de France, every year in the mountain stages, every sport director drives over several pairs of feet. Because here's how it goes. People go like this because they want to see something. Everybody puts his head first out, as we had it before. Then the race opens up. Okay. The motorbike driver comes. Then the yellow jersey comes. So people open up 1 meter, 1.50 meter for the motorbike. The motorbike passes through. The bike rider, skinny, tiny little bike rider, he passes through 1.5 meters. But now the race director or the sport director comes with a car. Now the $1 million question: does the car pass through a 1.50 meter gap? No, it doesn't. So what happens? Every year, again and again, 10 people wide. The first people panic, want to move back. But one person cannot move the other 9 people behind you back because you fight the weight of 9 people. So they are stuck. The sport directors or in uphill finishes, they flip in the rear view mirrors to make the car more narrow and don't hit people with the mirror. But the sport directors also know I cannot stop because if I stop, I block the race for everybody. I get swarmed by people. Hey, give me an autograph, give me a race bottle. Can I have the bike on your car? You will never ever get able to be started. So they go, okay, I close my eyes. I virtually, just talking. Close my eyes, I pray for the best, and I keep driving. And apparently every year they drive over feet, and it's excruciating painful. It makes a certain flop noise when the tire goes over a pair of feet. And then you can see people doing chicken dance after you because it hurts so people dance and jump. But what can you do? You cannot stop because then you block the race for everybody behind you and you never get started again. So you just go, I gotta keep on moving. So it happens every year in a Grand Tour on some mountain stages.
Yeah, I didn't really think of that, to be honest, with the amount of people. I've never been on a mountain stage in the Tour, but I can imagine from the scenes. But yeah, you're right. Where can they kind of go?
And come back to close the circle, come back to that incident now, right? So the sport director of Ineos Grenadiers got a $5,000 fine or euro, 5,000 euro fine or Swiss francs. Go straight to the organizer and say, dear ASO, here's your fine because you could not secure my working place. I charge you for not having my working place secure that I can able to work. And then the ASO, the tour organization, could go to UCI, dear UCI, you and your road commission, you tick the boxes that, yes, correct, you can have the race right here under the circumstances. So by the end of the day, the UCI signs, yep, the stage is okay, the road commission checked it, we accept the race to happen like this. So the UCI should fine itself. It sounds funny, I know, but really, if you think about it and you stop laughing for a second, you go, damn, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's quite a vicious loop when you put it out like that.
Yeah. It is. I know. It is.
We might as well finish on that point, Jens, because the rest day need to get this finished by the rest day as well. But it's amazing to have you here again, Jens, and it's been thoroughly enjoyable to see you on the motorbike. And you are commentating still, I guess, the final week on Eurosport for any German. I'm not sure I have many Germans listening. You should be commentating on the English. It would be much more fun. A lot more people would enjoy that as well, I think.
Every now and then there's talks that I should join them for another week, 1 week motorbike, 1 week in England, and 1 week in Germany.
I think a lot of people would be very happy about that.
So, folks, if you know and you want to know how crazy I am, we have the family. My wife and 3 of my daughters come as my support team. We plan this crazy road trip. So, August 6th, we go Berlin, Amsterdam. We stay in Amsterdam. August 7th, we go Amsterdam, Calais, take the tunnel, come out of the tunnel on a Great Britain side in Dover, drive to Windsor Castle, stay close to Windsor Castle. The kids want to see it. August 9th, we go from Windsor Castle a little bit south to see Stonehenge, and go to Land's End. That is the bottom left end of Great Britain. And it's called Land's End because all land ends there. The next land is New York on the other side of the ocean. August 9, 8 a.m. sharp, I will start a 1,500 kilometer journey in 8 stages from the bottom left of Land's End all the way through Cornwall, England, Scotland, up to the top right corner called John O'Groats. We can see the Shetland and the Orkney Islands from there. So my wife and my three of the youngest daughters come along as a support team. It will be a wild road trip. We're going to see wonderful countryside in Cornwall. We're going to see beautiful cities like Bristol, Exeter, Carlisle, Hadrian's Wall. We want to see. I pass it, where the most northern part of the Roman Empire was, and Emperor Hadrian built that wall between England and Scotland. And my last or second last stage finishes in Inverness, small town in Scotland. But that is only 10 kilometers away from Loch Ness. So I told my wife and the kids, I don't care how tired we are, how late I come in, or how early we have to rise up the next morning. We go for midnight swim with the famous Nessie monster from Loch Ness. It's going to be so awesome. Last stage going to be hard. It finishes then John O'Groats, and I believe it is 236 kilometers long, and it's quite up and down in the Scottish Highlands. Will be a tough day, but yeah. So that is the road trip. The family and me, we have planned. Kids on school holiday. So there you go, 1,500 kilometers all the way to Great Britain. It's a relatively famous, it's a very, very famous route in Great Britain. A lot of people do it. Land's End to John O'Groats. That will absorb most of my August.
Thank you very much for joining, and I hope to see you again. And of course, check him out on Instagram and Facebook. There's some very funny videos. And are you still doing the videos every stage as well?
I have been a little lazy, but I should start again. Yes, I promise. The rest day is my rest day, and then I start. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll see you next time anyway. Yes.